Well, now we're joined by Osama Nazza, who is in Jenin in the occupied West Bank, where, as I was saying, one of those very intense and very long raids has been going on. He's an analyst of Palestinian affairs. Osama, I just wondered, you were obviously there while all this was taking place. What was that like for you personally, and what do people do in the occupied West Bank when these raids are going on?
The people in the West Bank are facing the worst form of oppression at the hands of the Israeli occupation forces, who don't stop their incursions and their bombardment of the different Palestinian towns and refugee camps. Just in Jenin, 12 Palestinians were killed by these invading forces over the past 2 days, and the people are going to lay to rest their victims today. And the Israeli occupation forces, and this is a new technique really by the Israeli forces, that they destroy the streets and the infrastructure of any camp or any city they get into. And at the same time, they besiege the hospitals and they expose even the hospitals' personnel to forms of humiliation and insult, as they held the staff of Jenin Hospital 2 days ago, and they undressed them and held them for hours in the street. Today, at the same time, and as your reporter Fatin said, they bombarded a car in Nablus, but they missed their target. They encouraged the settlers also to practice violence against the Palestinians moving from town to town. Last night, they bombarded a house belonging to a Palestinian family in the village of Orif near Nablus. So we are talking about aggression and aggression all the time, and there is no bit of normalcy in the Palestinians' life in the West Bank. Yes, we see the massacres in Gaza, but at the same time, in the West Bank, there is piecemeal massacre. And what is worse is the confiscation of the Palestinians' land for the benefit of the Israeli settlers.
Yes, and Osama, I do want to get on to settlers in a minute. Sorry to interrupt. We've got a lot to get through. Yeah. I just wonder if we could talk a little bit about the US National Security Envoy Jake Sullivan's visit to Ramallah, which is expected later. There's this increasingly evident gap between what Israel wants to see at the end of this conflict and what the US says it wants to see. And I wondered, for you personally as a Palestinian, would you accept governance over the West Bank, governance over Gaza, that would not include Hamas at all?
First of all, I think it is very early to talk about the political future of Gaza, which is not separated from the West Bank.
It is early, but not completely inappropriate, though, I think.
Yes, but you know, Sullivan and the American administration are talking something to the Palestinians and doing something different on the ground, and no American official today is welcome to the Palestinian territory, as the Palestinian people are convinced that the American administration is providing all the support for the Israeli war government, and the American officials who come to the region participate in the meetings and the sessions in the Israeli war government in order to discuss how they can hit more the people in Gaza. So they are talking about whatever flows in favor of the Israeli occupation government. And we all hear the statements of the National Security Communication Officer yesterday, Kirby, who said that there is no space to talk about a ceasefire right now. And if there is any talk, we can talk about just a pause in fight, something that the Palestinians are categorically rejecting. We saw how the American administration used the veto in the Security Council against the UN resolution for ceasefire and in the General Assembly. So we have no trust, we have no confidence in the American administration, and we prefer that they don't come to Palestine at all, because they are not only complicits, but they are partners and they are participants in the genocide campaign against our people in Gaza. Any solution from the American administration now is rejected because it is against the interests of the Palestinian people, and what is needed is the global South and the international intervention to settle the situation, not the American biased interventions.
Right, okay, I hear you. Thank you very much, Osama Nazza, for coming on the show and talking to us.
You're welcome.